I'm gonna try something today. I'm gonna take a break from hammering freaking hammer brackets. But well, hang on. Let me start with this. See the little mark right there? I had a piece of coal go pop, and then it stuck right to my head and burnt. Isn't that funny? So thank goodness I wear glasses, because if it was a little lower, that would have been kind of painful. Anyway, to the project today. I went to an auction Friday. I picked up a bunch of stuff, a bunch of boxes and things, and I came across this little box, and it was heavy. I was like, what the heck is it? And inside here are blades, 5-inch blades. I'm not sure what kind of knife they went to, or cutter, or what their purpose was. They got the feel of a linoleum knife, you know, a box cutter or a razor blade kind of thing. And I thought, all right, let's see about what forge welding is together, see what we end up with as a billet. It's good to have those. It's good to have these billets around, so that if I decide to do some fancy project, I have some pattern steel if I want to do it. Now, the thing I'm concerned about is these are already beveled. They have an edge on them, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. You know, in the forge welding, probably should cut those edges off. We're gonna try it just as it is. One other thing we'll do with this project is I'll go ahead and weigh these before I start putting them together, and then when I'm done with the billet, we'll go ahead and see what we got left. A lot of you guys have asked, you know, what was the weight loss during that working process. So that'll be the reason that we're doing this particular project. Plus, I think it's going to be a cool little piece of steel when we get done. So let me go ahead and get these cleaned up, and then we'll weigh them, and then start the forge welding. I decided to clean them up. They were pretty dirty, but it's funny. A lot of them had this tempering across the top. I don't know if that was, I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them did, and I'm not sure whether that was from the factory or if whatever this particular blade is used for was done something hot. But it's right across the spine. It's probably to keep the blade from breaking from the factory. If you know what these blades are, leave me a comment. I'd like to know. Now that we got them all cleaned up, we'll stack them up. One in this batch was, I guess you'd call it serrated of some sort. I don't know whether to put that in the inside or on the outside. I'm going to put these together, but I'm going to alternate the bevels left and right. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's what we're going to do. I'll put these together. I'll put a tack weld on the ends, and then we'll weigh it up. So I tack the ends. Whoop, where am I? There we go. Just a couple of tacks, and then once in the side. I don't want to close them off too tight. We'll go ahead and throw this on the scale now and see what we end up with. And we are in ounces. 8.3 ounces. We'll write that down. We're starting with 8.3 ounces. I bet you we lose a lot. We'll go ahead and get this thing heated up. And again, you see me do a few of these kind of projects. We're going to heat it up really slow. I'm not going to go crazy on it, because I got to make sure that center is as hot as the outside. That whole mass has to be up to temperature. We're going to heat it up nice and red. We'll throw some flux in there. And again, I'll keep saying it over again. I'll do it quick. Flux, in my mind, is it'll melt. It'll turn into a glassy coating, keep the oxygen from oxidizing inside the mass while I'm getting up to forge temperature. Also allows the glass will float away some of the impurities. I use 20 mil borax for flux. So I'm going to get this in the fire, and we'll get her up to temperature. Hot enough for the flux right now. We'll go ahead and flux this up. And they're all starting to fall apart a little, so we'll give it some persuasion to stick back together. Just to get a good coating down in between these blades is the most important part right now. Took my weld on the end didn't hold. There's 15 of these. I forgot to tell you that. 15 pieces here. We learned our lesson once before on using too many pieces, so I hope that doesn't come back to haunt me. Obviously, we didn't learn it well. We're being stubborn here. We're going to see what we can do about getting this stuck together. Let's go ahead and heat this sucker up. Right where I want to be on temperature here. I'm going to focus on the far end, a couple inches of it anyway. Again, not knowing what steel I have, I don't want to go too dang hot, but I want it hot enough, that's for sure. Now that flux is going to splatter back towards me because of the layers, so let's hope we're okay. A little more time. I don't want to mess up that end, because the welds came apart on some of the layers, and I want that to work. So here we go. Let's see what we get. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of right there. No fires. Okay, just like 01. I went too fucking hot. Sorry, I went too hot with it. Okay, so now there goes Chandler's Here goes Chandler's weight strategy. Let's learn, let's learn, let's learn. I knew it was too hot, I knew it. More with this. It's good. Oh man, that brush was dirtier than the piece. Look at all that stuff just breaking up. Okay, well, that's how we learn, eh, children? I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to get this other side done. We'll see if we can salvage it anyway. I'll throw a little flux down that other side just to clean it up a little. That's what you get working with small pieces, Jim. Wow, live and learn, live and learn. A little too hot already. This piece here is gone. Let's just see if we can get a stick there. No, that's gone. Oh, Chandler, you're sucking out today. It's alright. We got some delicate stuff we're working on anyway here, so we'll get her. Farther with it here. So now down here I expected to nip that off because of that U. I'm not even going to attempt to forge weld that together. We're not doing horrible. A little more flux. I'll come back, I'll flip it around, I'll see if I can get that little bulge in the middle there out. About getting a little bit more of this stuff done. Yeah, I'm never going to get that outside. This one piece is flaking off on me here. I don't think we're ever going to get that to seal down. We can try one more time anyway. And like I've said before, if you're going to try forge welding, don't try on something light. I mean, if you haven't forge welded before, give yourself some meat. Alright, trying to mess with this little dinky stuff. It's easy to get it up to temperature, but especially when we have too many layers to begin with. We're still going. Give her one more go and then we're going to take a look at it and see what we think. I'm separating down here on this end. Alright, now I ain't going to call it yet, but it's getting a little bit on the scary side. But I got a big separation right in the middle there. We're going to flux that. Try to bring that together. I'm okay with the split on the end as long as it doesn't go down too far. If I cut this and fold it in half, we're going to lose that end anyway. But let me just work that end one more time. It's okay to push the boundaries a little. Every time you see that steel, every time you work that steel at that particular temperature, you learn something. You learn more and more, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. And see if we get a stick. Wow, too hot. Look at that. Look at that. Mother effer. Mother effer. Make sure I'm not burning too much of my stuff. I don't see anything burning that I don't want burning. Oh, we're going to fail badly on this one. You picked a fine time to weigh me, Lucy. This was not the one to use the weight. It's going to be... How badly does Chandler forge weld? Oh boy. A little bit. Boy, we are sucking out big time today. Whew. Yep, indeedy. All delaminated and disheveled and sugar fried. Alrighty. It was worth a try. It was worth a try. That's all I got to say. Let's see if I can get that middle put back together. This is when you call it, right about now. Let's see what we can do about losing the rest of the steel. Not much there, is it? I am not liking the way this is turning out. This is a complete and total failure. But complete and total failure on Chandler's part. If you knew what you're doing, if you were at all smart, don't give up. Continue with this. I'll throw it up as a special feature. This is a bad day at the shop's better than a good day of fishing. I started grinding this down just to clean it up. I'm going to try folding it and welding it again. And I'll be danged, that flap disc wouldn't remove the scale, wouldn't remove any of the steel. There was one spot here where I had, I had welded, and so there's a bead of the MIG weld on there, and that, that ground right off and sparks were flying. This other stuff, it wouldn't even touch it. I don't know what this is, but it's hard stuff. I haven't the foggiest idea what I'm dealing with here, but we're going to go ahead and continue, and we'll learn it in the process. I'm actually going to try cutting it. For a second I thought it was stainless, but it's ferrous. I mean, it sticks to a magnet. So I'm not sure what the heck I got working on here, but we're going to keep going and see if we can salvage anything out of it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I'll tack it back together, and then we'll try forge welding again. I mean, at this point, I think it's a complete failure. It's just funny with the steels that I have successfully welded. I haven't seen that break apart, with the exception of the 01. When I got that too hot, it just turned into crystals. So maybe this is something like 01. I don't know for sure, but it is hard stuff. Let me cut it. We will come back and see what we can do. So I don't know what the heck this stuff's made out of, but it sure is hard stuff. I cut her in half, welded it back together. I had one spot that was totally delaminated on one piece, so I cleaned those two pieces off. I put the thinner piece on the outside. You can see it. Which one? It's this one out here on the outside. Everything's clean and stacked. I'm just, right at this point, I'm just putting the time in to figure out what the hell's going on with this kind of steel. So I have no idea. I mean, I got what, an inch of stuff I'm messing with here. But again, I'll put this up as a special feature. We all should share Chandler's pain for a few minutes. As we're bringing this thing up to temperature, we'll throw some flux on there just because we can. Oh, some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug. But hey, you never know. I might end up with a half an ounce of something out of this. Half an ounce of something, I tell you. For a single hit, nice and hard, hopefully to stick this fat piece together. We'll see how she goes. Let's hope it works. There we go. That worked beautifully, Chandler. Beautiful. What is going on here, children? We stuck it, but we broke the end up. I think Chandler's going to be drinking tonight, I think. Kryptonite. They wouldn't even weld back together. Everything falling apart. Holy. Let's brush this thing off here a little. I swear, I haven't the foggiest idea what kind of material. If I were to guess, everything's acting like 01. Right? Because I haven't, like I mentioned, I forgot what video it was, but I was trying to mess with 01 and it crumbled just like this stuff's doing. So we got some education to do for sure, but we're going to keep going until the thing just disintegrates or until I decide to give up. It was nothing, and let's hope it isn't nothing when we get done. Oh man, it's just falling apart. Unbelievable! Oh, mamma mia. Alright, children, my guess is that it's 01. That's the only time I've ever seen it do that before. Man, we got a beautiful piece there, don't we? I'm loving this project today. I would swear. It's like hitting a freaking... Look at that. Maybe it's tungsten carbide. What the freak is this stuff? It's real, it's still orange and it barely dents. What the fudge? You're about to watch Chandler give up. I think for the first time ever. Maybe not. I swear to God, that is the hardest unwelding, unmoving, breaking apart stuff I've ever seen in my life. What the hell is this stuff? Alright guys, I'm going to do a Google search and see if I can find that manufacturer. Look at that plate glass. I think it's tungsten carbide, for crying out loud. There you go. We learned that there's some material out there that sure does look like steel that don't act like steel. Not that I ever thought I knew it all in the first place, but I'm going to be back in a minute. Alrighty, Aphrodite. There we go. I looked on Google, I couldn't find it. This is what it says. That's all I can see because the thing is taped. They're probably 4 million years old. I see W high, I think W high something. I don't know what that is. And we got Wolf Machine Company. 5-inch knife, 615 something. That's the challenge. Somebody tell me what the frick this thing's made out of and what I did wrong, because it's just nothing. It just broke like glass. It's freaky. Like tungsten carbide, for Christ's sake. I hope you enjoyed this show, because it's going to be a funny one at the end. Hey, we are at the end. Ciao.